Hi, so today I'd like to spend a little bit of time discussing how we're going to add four HTML files and one CSS file to our, so we can create a site in Dreamweaver. That CSS file will style all four of the HTML files at once. So first of all, we're going to go into our drive, your personal drive, and then inside Tech Apps, I'm going to create a new folder named Website. To do that, I'm going to right click New, and then Folder. Then I'm going to name it Website. And at that point, we have our folder set up, so whenever we're in Dreamweaver, we can make sure we're saving all of our stuff, which are our HTML files, our CSS files, and then images if we decide to use those as well, in that folder on our drive. So now we're going to open up Dreamweaver. It's already on your system, so that would be just type DRE into the start menu and then open up a Dreamweaver. If this is the first time you're opening it up, it might prompt you to decide what kind of languages you're going to be using, or coding languages. And what you'll do is just click select all and next. But there's really no way, it's not going to mess you up if you do something differently. So whenever you get the Dreamweaver site open, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a site. Every time you start a new site, you have to do that. So I'm going to click Dreamweaver site. That's under Create New Dreamweaver Site. I'm going to click it. At this point, I am going to find my website file. So I click this little folder. If it doesn't pop up automatically, go to your drive, inside Tech Apps, inside Website. Then I'm going to click Select. So now I see that it's right here. I'm going to name my site Website. And then I'm going to click Save. At that point, you're going to see that we have our website open and it shows where it's being saved on our computer, on our drive. Next, we are going to create a template. So you could create a simple HTML file by clicking HTML up here, but what we want to do is have it do more of the work for us. So under Create New and More, I'm going to find the layout that I want to use. As you can see, these are already styled. So they have a CSS sheet that's styling them already. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to create our site and make it look a little bit more professional. So I am going to click the 2-column fixed header and footer. We're going to put our navigation menu on this side, and we can style up here, and all of our text is going to go into this bigger column. I'm going to make sure I click doc type HTML5 because that's what we're using. And then in layout CSS, we want to create a new file. So once we create a new file, we're going to click create. It's going to prompt us to name that file. I'm going to name it CSS, and that will name it css.css. So you can see it's linking to css.css. Now we have a HTML document open. The next thing we need to do is File, Save As, and because when we created our slideshow, we had different names, the first one is going to be About Us. So I'm going to name that file About Us just so it's easier to figure out what I'm editing. And as you can see, it's saving inside the website folder on our drive. We already have a CSS file. Now we're going to get our first HTML file, clicking Save. And again, you can see it all in here. It's inside that file. There's aboutus.html and then css.css. Next, I want to create a second page. To do that, I'm going to do File, New. I've already got this selected here. I'm going to make sure it's HTML5 is selected. And then this is a little bit tricky. Instead of create a new file, we're going to link to an existing file because we already created this one. We want to link to that. So link to existing file, and then it's going to ask you where do we want to link to? So we're going to click here to this little link icon, and I'm going to browse to find it. And it should open up inside your website folder. And if it doesn't, you can click around and find it. But as we can see, there's only one CSS file. So I'm going to click on it and say OK. And again, OK. And now I can see it. So it's linking to that file. So now I'm going to need to save this page as our second HTML page. So I'm going to go ahead and click File, Save As again. And like our second slide was what I'm passionate about. So I'm going to name this file Passions because I know that that's going to be a good indicator of what this page is going to be about. And I'm going to click Save. And then I'll see that we've got About Us and Passion. So now we'll need to do that for 2 more HTML files. Name them something that would remind us of what those 2 other slides that you created were. And then after we get all 4 of our files finished, along with our CSS file, we can start editing content.